Hi there, in this video we are going to look at adding a logo to Premiere Pro. There are some quirky things that go along with Vector inside of Premiere Pro, plus we're going to try and make something reasonably complex with your Essential Graphics panel so that we can show you how to work with it and some of the tips and tricks for getting it right. All right, let's dive in. All right, so you might have been building the co-working project, you might not have been. I've got a file here that you can all catch up with, so I'm going to open a project. Okay, it is in your exercise files. It is under co-working. Okay, and it's called co-working V1. When you open it up, you might be missing footage. Okay, and you can go and find that in the exercise files if it loads up. Okay, and it looks something like this is where we're up to at the moment. You can rebuild it from here, up to you. Okay, this is kind of all I want is a bit of this last part of the structure. Yours might look something close enough to this. Okay, so adding a logo. What I want to do is we can add the logo by itself by clicking over here and saying browse, edit, actually click off so nothing's selected. Okay, and then go to new and go to from file. That's where we could bring our logo file. What I want to do is combine it with one of these two. I want to combine it with this bottom one here. Okay, so the bottom graphic in this case is just the colored box. So we're gonna combine it mainly because I want to show you how to combine stuff, and so that our layers not getting out of control, kind of Photoshop style, Untitled 52. Okay, so we just want a couple of simple tracks in here, or layers as they, we call them in other programs. Okay, so I'm gonna have this bottom graphic selected. I'm gonna be at the beginning for no reason, just to be the beginning. Okay, and I've already got a shape. I'm going to name it, double click it. This is called my background. Okay, I'm going to import another thing. It can be text. Okay, we're going to go from file and we're going to bring in under co-working. There's one called logo co-work outlined. Okay, it's an Adobe Illustrator file. Okay, so I'm going to import that and it ends up behind everything. I want to move it up and over here. So with it selected here in my graphics panel, I'm just going to drag it left and right. Okay, I'll actually just drag it up first and across. You can get it perfectly aligned by, can you see here, there's these ones here. It says vertical center, horizontal center. At the moment, mine's kind of behind this book here, but that might work for you for what you need to do. You align the top, bottom, left, right, all of these things, okay? What I want to do is ignore all that and get it exactly where I want, okay? Which is kind of in the top right here. Now, one thing to notice is, do you notice that when we added, say, the background kind of square, nothing appeared over here in our project panel. But when we imported this thing from Illustrator, you'll see, there it is over there, comes as part of the project file. Now, the first thing you're probably going to do is then go off and search, why is it going blurry when I scale it? Okay, so let's, with the logo outlines selected here, you can either scale it here. We'll kind of show you both ways. You can do it in the effects controls, which gets a little bit messy, or over here, you can say, actually, let's scale this up. And it's that one there, drag it to the right. Can you see there that actually it's starting to go all blurry? Okay, and that's not you, it's Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is not cut out to do Vector. I don't know why, but it doesn't do something like After Effects, which does like continuous rasterization. I can't remember what it's called, but it doesn't work. You can't scale it up. So if you have no idea how to edit the vector, you're gonna have to go back to the original creator and say, can I have a bigger logo, please? So you're looking for the biggest one to import. It doesn't have to be vector because it's not scalable anyway. It can be pixelated, a raster image, a PNG, a JPEG. Ideally we want vector, but Premiere Pro doesn't know what to do with it. If you did decide I want to scale it up, okay, let's say we do have to scale it, okay, what you need to do is edit it in Illustrator. You might not have the skills to do it. I'll give you a quick demo. So over here, okay, I can go to this one. I can right click it and say, scroll down the bottom, edit original. Okay, so I just right clicked it. So edit original. It's going to open up an Adobe Illustrator. And if you don't really know how to use it, don't worry. If you're only scaling things, really all you need to do is select it. Okay, I'm using this tool here. Drag it out the size you need it to be, holding shift so it doesn't scale. So let's say I want it to be about double the size. Okay, you want it bigger than you need it. Zooming everywhere. Okay, so get it the kind of size you want it, and then the artboard that it came off, it's really easy to adjust. This is a handy tip. If you click on your artboard tool and say, I would like the artboard to be not a custom size, but I want it to fit the selected art. Okay, if you don't have the text select, your graphic selected, okay, so select it all. If you can't see it and you're like, hey, I'm doing this with Dan and it's not working, hit Command Y. Okay, it'll go from being kind of white see-through to this outline view. So select it all, artboard tool, and say, let's set the artboard to fit the selected art. Hit save, Jump back into Illustrator and you'll notice, can you see it doubled in size? Okay, I don't need it to at the moment, but you will, I betcha. I made the logo perfect for this. So yes, there might be in the future. If in the future Premiere Pro starts doing vector suite, you let me know in the comments and let everyone else know. I'm gonna go back to here, undo it, save it, close it. There's a nice little connection, right? You don't have to like update it or re-import it. That's nice. Cool, so we've got our logo in here. Let's do the animation for, we're gonna get it to fade in, okay, do a bit of practice. And we'll do it on both sides, just because I know it can be a bit daunting with both sides here. So I've got my graphics selected here. I've got the logo selected. I'm gonna go to the beginning. I'm holding Shift to make sure it snaps to the beginning. Okay, and I'm gonna say, set a keyframe for opacity, which is this one. Okay, and I want it to start at 0 and then move along some time. I'll have to adjust it in a second, and then to get it to come up. And you can just do it that way. That might be a nice way of working. Hit spacebar, let's play it. Can you see it fades in? Fades in, there you go. Shift K, remember, is the kind of jump back and loop around. Yeah. All right, I can live with that. And I'm gonna undo that and do it over here. You should just practice doing it both ways as well. Okay, so same thing, back at the beginning, I've got my graphics selected. I've got the logo selected over here, and I just need to find the right one. So I'm gonna twirl up video. When we're dealing with like motion graphics, okay, we want to be dealing with this graphics tab, nothing down here in video, okay, because you can do opacity, and in this case, to be honest, it'd work fine. Don't tell anyone, but you should be using the vector versions. So I can do one of two things. I can do the animation of the entire group, which is this vector motion, which will do both the logo and my background. I'll show you what I mean. You see, I can do, can you do opacity? You can't do it for vector motion. Good work, Dan. You'd have to do it down here. And if I did it down here, you could do it for both of them. Okay, so it does the background and the graphic, and you might be totally looking to do that. To do them individually, let's find not the background, but the logo. Let's twirl it down. Let's set a keyframe for the beginning of opacity, go along sometime, and then actually go back to the beginning. Holding Shift to make sure it snaps, turn it to 0 at the beginning. So set the little timer, set it to 0, move along a little bit, set it to 100. You are exactly the same thing as doing it over here, like that first bit. All right. I'm gonna add one more thing in here because I want to before we carry on. You saw at the beginning there, we had a bit more text. Okay, so with this graphic down the bottom here, I'm gonna add a second bit of text. I'm gonna say another bit of text. This one's going to be, welcome to your new, can't see it because it's behind everything. That's all right, I'm gonna move it kind of over and up. Probably best when you're working with it is to make sure you spell it right. You can double click it over here to adjust the text, okay? Welcome to, you can double click it on here. Can you see actually on the program window to jump to the right one, which is handy. Okay, welcome to your new, and you can see my mask here. I've got this phone that's kind of in the way. I think when I originally planned this video, I planned to cut the phone out. This gives me a really good excuse to show you how to update that. So I'm gonna make sure my text is centered so that when I do adjust the size, it goes from the middle. Get it in the right spot. Oh, we can use our shortcut. Okay, and I'm gonna mess around with this mask now. So where is the mask? It is on there. I'm gonna go back to my opacity. There's a mask in there. With it selected, I'm going to grab you, drag it down. Now to get rid of this guy, you need to hold down the Command key on a Mac, Control key on a PC. Okay, and just you can see the little minus appears and say get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. And this is my plan for this thing. I'm gonna go straight across. Actually, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a couple more points. So maybe you, and I'm gonna go. What are you doing, Dan? Making a straight thing across there. Get rid of that phone. So click off in the background. So now I can see welcome to your new. So there we go. I'm gonna pick two fonts because I picked Arial for you guys just so that it didn't freak out with new fonts when you opened it up if you carried along. Anything else? I'm gonna mess with the fonts in between videos. What I'm going to do before you go is get the timing right. Oh, and there's one other bonus thing I want to show you. So I've got that coming in. Let's say that I do want co-work to be down here. Okay, so it's currently here on this bottom layer. Okay, so if I move it down, because it's underneath the this middle part here, okay, I can't see it. You're like, well, I need it up here now. How do I do that? So if you do need that to happen, you can have it selected. Okay, click on the logo. Okay, just go straight up Command X for cut. Okay, or Control X on a PC. That's just, you know, when we're cutting and pasting, just regular old shortcut. Okay, select it at the top here and say paste. It'll go from this Essential Graphics to this one here at the top. Okay, so now it's on top and I can move it down. Click on just the part I want, Home Office, nope, the logo, and I can move it down. I don't want to do that, but you can cut and paste between them. Other useful things when we are getting to these kind of like bigger groups of Essential Graphics, okay, there's lots going on in that one little clip. Okay, you can see over here, we can start doing groups. Okay, you might decide all your text goes into one, or test. Okay, and all the text goes into one group. Okay, and you might have, let's say, make sure you can see the group ended up inside text. I'm going to undo and just have nothing selected. Click in no man's land to do a group that is not kind of inside that first one. Let's go double click this one. This is going to be my logos. Mine's not complex enough. Mine never get complex enough to break these into little groups. It's totally up to you. Okay, you might get really complex, or at least all the text needs to go, or you just want to hide everything except for the couple of bits of text that you can edit and adjust quickly. Obviously, layer order is quite important. So background, if it's at the top, covers everything. Background needs to be at the bottom. I'm going to do one more thing before we go is I'm going to get that welcome to animate on. So make sure at the beginning of your clip, okay, with it selected, welcome to your new, I'm going to say start the toggle the animation for position on, and I'm going to start it up. Okay. If you always drag it the wrong one and the wrong way, don't worry, I do it all the time. You go up there. Then after some time, maybe, yeah, there, it's going to come down. How far? Don't go the wrong way. All right, let's work on the easing. Okay, so let's have a look at just this one. Let's say show clip frames 4. This is getting pretty complex now. It's all right, we know what we're doing. We're not looking for the logo. We're looking for the text that says welcome for your new. I want to show the transform position. Okay, and I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit. Now I want to click on this, drag this, be freaked out by how crazy it looks. And I'm going to drag it like this. So I want this kind of like that sort of look to it. Yep, that'll do. Good bit of easing. All right, the timing's not quite right. One last thing before we go, let's just do that. I want the welcome to your new to come in and then home office afterwards. So with the home office selected, because that's the only thing on there, there's only one thing, I can just go, yep. Okay, rather than mess with the keyframes. Okay, let's have a look at the end. It's probably poking off the end here. One last tip, I said there was no more tips, is the rate stretch tool. If you have got the timing, it's not quite right. Okay, you want to make it faster or slower, you can get in here and start messing with keyframes, but if they're complex, you're like, man, just type the R key for our rate stretch tool. Okay, and this guy here, grab the end and you can speed it up, and the whole thing, all the keyframes in there, can you see, come along for the ride? So I made it faster, or I can drag it out to be slower. I can do that. Okay. And then go back to your normal tool and kind of get it the timing right. That'll do. All right, off camera, I'm going to pick new fonts. I'll see you in the next video. I lied, I'm back already. Hey, there's the fonts I picked. I wanted to show you something because I ran into a problem. I saved over the file that I meant to save for you guys. It's meant to be nice and clean and be in Arial, but I just totally saved over the top of it. So I wanted to show you a quick thing is there is, sometimes you can go to file revert and that will go back to the last time it was saved. It's grayed out for whatever reason. So I'm like, oh, how do I go all the way back? I can smash through undo. Okay, that totally works. Or I can go to window, I can go to history. Okay, and you might only want to go halfway through, but you can see these are all the things that I did. I am going to now go back and say, go all the way back here to where we started and do a save as so that you've got this nice clean version. Anyway, that's a history panel thrown in there at the end of this video. All right, that is totally it this time. I'll see you in the next video.